All right, you guys, welcome back. I came out this evening and I had every intention of continuing working on the doors and just, finishing up the edges and everything. And I saw these little nibs on the trunk and I was like, and I just felt one of them and it just felt, you know, weird. You know how your hand tells you something different than your eye does. So I just grabbed a little piece of sandpaper and started blocking, and it just acted the strangest out of anything I've ever sanded on the car. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So I just worked back here tonight and leveled her out. There's still some low spots you'll see, and there's still some issues. And they just started revealing themselves. And we're gonna get into them as few as we can, you know. Just just keep it just keep it light and keep it smooth to where maybe we can just do a light sand. I did a 220 and then I came back with a 400, and um, this is a lot better over here. But you used to be able to like do 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 do. Now it's just like it's just barely there. You can feel it, uh, but no, that's pretty good now. So, but they're still there. It's gonna need a level coat of some Bondo for sure. And we got to build up this edge down here. But let me take you guys through everything, show you how we got here, and then I'm gonna bring you in close and I'm gonna show you what the finished product is, because you know it's called a tease. I don't want to spoil it. And the weather's getting good finally, and it just every day I'm at work, I'm trying to focus on work, but I'm honestly thinking of, when I come out in the shop, what can I do and how can I do it and stuff. But so enjoy the time lapse. I'm going to make it as fast as possible. Of course, number 2 pencil's coming at you, so y'all enjoy that. And then I'll bring you back in afterwards, show you how yeah, show you how it finished up, and we'll get out of here. Okay. Come on, y'all. Let's build this thing. I haven't said that in a while. I got to get back to saying that. Daughter said that was my catchphrase. All right, you guys. Well, as you can see, there was a lot of progress. I mean, it's once once you got that big block going, you know how big blocks are. They get 6 miles to the gallon, but boy, they got some torque. So let me get you in here and show you how it finished up. All right, let's use the close perspective because we're doing close perspective. This is, I don't know if you can tell, it's very difficult to define the area of the issue. You know, I tried to mark it, but my limited skills and third grade penmanship, you know, I only made it past the third grade. So you're lucky if you can see it, you know. But these are those things, and I took my razor blade because these were, as you saw, those had busted out, and it was like, just what in the he hockey sticks is going on here, like that? You know, I'm afraid that's gonna pop. So I'll just get my razor blade and dig into that. I'm not worried about these, but you can feel them as we go. So if I keep sanding, you know, because it does, it's high here, you know, you can just feel like an edge, like that's that needs to all. And of course you can see that, but I was just working the different areas, and I was afraid to go too far once that literally started showing itself because I know that, you know, vortex of doom is over under here. I don't want to get into that, and I'm not gonna mess with the bottom, and you know, I don't want to get swept up and caught up in that. I do want to get back on this rear end, but this thing is here's two low spots, and when I first started, they were defined, you know, gnip gnops, and this one right here was, yeah. But I came through with some 150, then come back with some 220, finished up with some 400, and now we got to get all this around here, especially this. There's a they did really good laying the paint, and then when they got to the edge, they just got light because I mean it was no time and I was through. But I stopped too soon. I gotta, you know, when you wipe it down, it shows you the areas where you gotta continue to sand, but the the transition is really good. You know, that is just really smooth. So I feel good about that. I will say, full disclosure, gonna have to build this lip out some more because the deck lid wants to bow, not bow, but there's some flex to it, and you know there is a gasket lip that's gonna sit in there and stuff, but let's just make sure that it's got plenty of stuff to sit on and have no issues. You know, it's good in some spots, and then it kind of, you know, tucks your finger back under it as you come across, and then it comes out, and then it goes back in and comes out, you know. My buddy was fussing at me. He's like, I told you should have let me cut that off and weld it. You know, still a possibility if I get pissed off enough at it. But, you know, I mean, that looks really good, guys. So we are, you know, it's 90% done. So I don't understand I do understand the thought process to cut it off and weld it, you know, because that's literally zip done. One, you know, tack, tack. Who knows? We'll see what happens. If I get in there and I can't get that symmetrical, maybe an option. So let me get you guys back on the stand. We'll close this out. Almost. All right, you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Let me turn this off. You don't need to see me in full light, full visage, you know. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching, tuning in, live streams and everything. I know I'm not that prolific of a channel or anything like that. And, frankly, I started this channel as motivation for myself to build the car. And that's still what my drive is as I'm doing this. It's not for the views. It is. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I hope one of them takes off and everything and just builds a channel overnight and just stuff like that. But you know, that's pie in the sky, just like winning the lottery, stuff like that. You can't, you can't make it happen. It just happens to happen organically. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be real, show the mistakes, and most of the mistakes. Some of them are too embarrassing. And, I have cut them out. And, uh, I'm being totally honest right here. That was one I was filming an episode early, and I'm talking everything was still a disaster over there, and the glass was all set up. And I lifted all the stuff, and all I saw was just shattered glass, and I was devastated. I was just destroyed. Like I honestly thought the back window was gone, and it took me 9 months to find one back. You know, early internet days, and when shipping was, I shipped it on a Greyhound bus from California to get it here. And I was just crushed. And then when Kathy went through the stuff the other day, we started pulling the broken glass out, going through it, and found that in fact, it was not the back window that broke, but the fella I got them from had sent me two front windows and the back window, and both front windows broke, and the back window was laying under a piece of foam under those two, and it was safe. So, um, as I showed you in the live stream, if y'all want to go see that, or even the one video I showed you where walked you through everything she did, the box she made, she got it out, wrapped it up, clean. We cleaned it now. I mean, we cleaned everything. So, I just can't thank her enough. And that was just, you want to talk about one that I just couldn't show. It was just, it was not my best day. Let's put it that way, and I don't need to, you know, I'm not one of those channels where anger and raw, so no, me and Jimmy, we're here to have fun. If it starts getting angry and stuff like that, that's the wrong reason. And it's not fun anymore. And I'll go inside, and I do go inside, because when you have a bad day at work, you come out here to blow off steam. Well, when you have a bad day in the shop, it's best to just walk away. Like some days, hey, it's not my day, and today was a good day, and trust me, there's days I've come out here just felt, just balls out, ready to go, gung ho, let's get it done, yeah, yeah, yeah. And 5 minutes into it, you knew if you continued to go, you were really gonna screw some big stuff up, big time, cost yourself a lot of money, and it's like, I'm going inside. Three left thumbs and two awkward backward knees, and feet facing the wrong way. So, I mean, it's just everything you grab, you drop. Everything you touch goes wrong. Started. You know how it is. You just know how it is. As soon as you get out into the shop, it's a bad night to go. Sometimes you can press through it and stuff, and if you keep going and it really goes bad, it's kind of like a hitchhiker. You get a warning, go inside. That's what I do. But now I'm rambling. You can tell it's late, and I'm glad to be back in the shop. Uh, the weather's gotten good. I'm sorry if the whiteness of my legs is blinding you guys. I hope the offsetting dust is taking some of it away. But we're gonna get back out here, get on this stuff, you guys. Like I said, we're gonna get on that other side, under the, what do they call it, the front trunk, get that side mess knocked down, and then it's time to get back here, get it all finished up, and then that's when we'll make the decision: are we gonna finish it, or are we gonna cut it off and weld a new one in? So we'll figure that out too. But if you would, give me a like, share this with your friends, especially the Volkswagen friends. Try and grow this thing. Um, you know, tell them to subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. I'm trying to get better and more prolific about posting. I'll cut the videos down and try not to make them so long when it comes to the sand, and then make them, not the montage, because I don't want it to just be me talking, but I want to kind of do a before, do a really quick time lapse, show them what, and then afterwards, and then, talk about how we did it and stuff. But I don't want to ramble like I'm doing, monologue like a villain in a animated crime movie. CSI, dung, or something like that. So, y'all, thanks again for tuning in. I'm sorry, Kathy. I have to tell them thanks. I mean, I'm really glad they're tuning in, and you are too. So, all right, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm Jimmy. It's not your garage.